shy, go ahead and hit that like bell, subscribe, like button, subscribe, notification bell. Comment. I'd love to hear your take on things. I'd love to get comments. I'd like to respond to them. If there's anything that you want to know my opinion on that I haven't spoke about, leave it in the comment section and I will get to it. So all that said, I had something kind of brewing the past couple days, and I think I finally got it where I'm ready to talk about it. It's nothing political today, because it's not. So I want to kind of tell a story, couple stories, then I'm drawing an analogy from it. So the most recent one starts out my wife. She works in a receiving dock at a warehouse. Receives product in. It goes to various locations within the warehouse. Gets broke down, repackaged, shipped out through a shipping dock, whatever. I understand enough about how warehouses work to have a general idea. Well, anyway, there was one coworker there. This individual kind of made it their mission to be a jerk. And hashtag not sponsored. And they would intentionally do whatever they could to just irritate people. Well, I don't want to drop any serious enough clues as to who this person may or may not be, but we'll just say that they crossed the line into violating certain aspects of the Americans with Disability Act and labor law, and this person was risking subjecting the company to a civil suit or lawsuit even. Well, when the HR department found out about it, he was not even told to, he was not even walked out of the building. What had happened, or what happens at that place most of the time, whenever they fire somebody, they let them go ahead and come on into work, and then they will terminate them once they're there. They didn't even let him come in. They called him and said, your services are no longer required. Thankfully, that's kind of been the end of it. I told you all that to say this. In the week and a half, 2 weeks leading up to his departure, my wife would come in just a tense mood from work. Wouldn't be as talkative, wouldn't be as much fun to be around, would be a little more snippy, more irritable. Now, I'm not saying that's down on her. She's got PTSD. This guy was seeking out her PTSD triggers and using them. So, I'm not blaming her for any of that. Since this guy's been gone and didn't cause no problems on the way out the door, she's been much easier to be around after her shift. She's been much nicer, and she's not as irritable as she was this time 2-3 weeks ago. Now I've got another one, and this one I don't mind nearly calling out. This happened, good grief, 6-7 years ago. I was working at a car dealership in the service department as a service advisor. For those of you that don't know exactly what that is, you call and ask to talk to someone in service. I'm the person that picks up the phone. I'm the person that deals with billing extended warranties, extended service plans, finding out recalls on your vehicle, things of that nature. That was my job. Well, I think I was still service advisor there when this happened. I got moved within the the service department. So anyway, there was this one person that we hired in, had good promise as a service advisor, very decent dealing with people, could diffuse people, could handle sticky situations, which can just happen, and she was pretty good at that. However, if you left yourself an opportunity to be thrown under the bus by her, or there was an opportunity that you didn't even cause to be thrown under the bus by her, she would seize it and use it. Case in point example. We kept a very small fleet of vehicles there to be loaned out to customers when their vehicle was going to be in the shop for an extended period of time. You'll remember me back a while ago doing some videos reviewing other vehicles, 2020 F-150 towing review, etc., etc. Those vehicles. Well, one time we got a vehicle in, and this was not something that the corporate overlords or the parent company owned. This was, at the time, this was a vehicle that we had bought, paid for, but we used it as a service loaner. Okay, so it wasn't tightly controlled and regulated by the corporate branch and divisions. Well, if, for example, say a technician needed to run up the street and grab some parts from a parts store because it was something we didn't have in stock but someone else did, they could take the loaners if they were there and if they weren't promised out to anybody. If anyone in the dealership had their vehicle in the shop for the day, getting work done, and you wanted to go to lunch, you could take a service loaner. There was a couple times I ended up driving them home because my personal vehicles were in the shop and they found a couple things that was going to make it be delayed. So they were ours, and like I took them home more than one occasion just due to situation. This customer comes in, had requested a service loaner for whatever reason. I don't remember what it was. We were more than happy to accommodate this customer. Tell them exactly where the vehicle's parked. It's out in the main lot on this side of the building. Here's the keys to it. If you can't find it, push the button. It'll honk at you. Out the door they go. They walk out. Within 2 minutes, they walk right back in. And this woman throws every technician in that building under the bus. And she was very confrontational, very snippy about it. Customer comes back in, says vehicle's got a quarter tank of gas. She's like, I apologize about that. Our technicians were probably just out joyriding, going to lunch and stuff in it. And I'm like, I'm standing there like I wanted to say, don't throw your coworkers under the bus. You know, previous customer could have brought it back in low. Manager might have had to taken it out somewhere to pick up some parts and forgot to put gas back in it. Someone might have had to take it home because their personal vehicle and forgot to put gas back in it. But we'll absolutely get you taken care of, Mr. Customer. No. Straight under the bus they go. And she'd get up in people's faces all the time about stuff going on in there. And generally just not a pleasurable person to work with. You know, there's some people, you can work right next to them weeks and months and years on end, and you get along just fine. They learn enough of your idiosyncrasies to know when to kind of leave you alone, and you learn enough of theirs, and you can either ignore each other and that be good enough to get along, or you can you know, carry on conversations and cut up as coworkers and all that. And I've had both in various jobs, but she threw this guy right under the bus. And I remember when she left there was a different atmosphere in that building because everyone knew that sure a situation could come up that's got your name on it. But you weren't going to get thrown under the bus by this chick because she threw everybody under the bus. And I said those two stories to say that it's simply amazing to me what one person can do to a work environment. You know, my wife working with this person that was causing all the drama at her job, one out of like 15, 20 people on a receiving dock. Caused all those problems. One person changed the whole atmosphere, and her coworker spouses have been saying things like, you know, you're in a better mood today. You're not as fussy as you normally are when you get home from work. You're not talking about this jerk, or you're not upset about work. You're easier to deal with when you get home. So I'm not the only one saying this. You know, everyone in that service department where I used to work at the dealership did not like this woman, having worked with her, because they knew that she would throw you right under the bus at the drop of a hat if it made her look good, and if it kept her out of hot water, kept her having to just make a sincere apology. And you know, I don't know why this happened, but I'll do whatever I can to fix it and make it right for you. There's a ton of ways you can handle customer situations, but throwing a good coworker under the bus, it shouldn't be on the list, and she'd do that all the time. So be careful who you open up to at work, who you become work buddies with or whatever. And I've got, pardon me, it's my allergy season. I've got a handful of coworkers, and I do mean a very small handful, that I've worked with over the years. They've got an open door policy at my place. You just text me, let me know you're going to be there. If I'm there, you can come on in. We'll have dinner, sit around, sip sweet tea, and sit on the front porch and talk about the weather, whatever. I am down. I've got some of them, they'll come over, we'll go target shooting, back in the woods, trail riding, whatever. I'm down to hang out with them. But out of all the coworkers I've had over the years, I've got like 3 former coworkers that I have that attitude with. So just be careful who you associate with. Be careful if you're involved in the hiring process, be careful who you hire on. If you are not involved in the hiring process, watch yourself around those people, and if they do something that violates your company's code of conduct or workplace regulations, or they violate labor law, don't be afraid to let management know, because management does not want a civil suit, and it will make your workplace a better place. They can find good people that will be more than willing to do their job and not cause problems. That's what I got, folks. Thanks for tuning in. I will catch you next time.